subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon so you never miss any update. We are thinking about going to the moon, where to stay, and how to colonize, also thinking about terraforming it. So, we never considered the moon as a living entity, we always considered the moon as a dead entity. Not only that there is no life there is no water either. But because there is no tectonic, volcanic and geological activity on the moon, without all these activities, any meteorological astronomical body is considered dead in science. But our thinking is wrong, it seems. Something is happening on the moon for billions of years, and we have not been able to understand it till today, and even if we do, we probably won't be able to see it from that perspective. Astronomers have been dropping one seismometer at a time on the moon from the Apollo missions. These include Apollo 11, 12, 14, 15 and Apollo 16 in the Apollo missions. These seismometers can detect even small, minor or jolts on the moon. The seismometer left by Apollo 11 only worked for 3 weeks. But the other 4 seismometers survived. They provided us with data from 1979 to 1977. During this period, we received 28 such signals that seemed to indicate a major earthquake on the moon. However, at that time, no one was completely sure about the subject, whether tectonic plates actually exist on the moon that cause earthquakes. Or then again, it could be due to some other unknown activity, or it's not an earthquake at all, but just some malfunction of the seismometers on the moon. However, something happened during the Apollo 17 mission in 1972 that made scientists realize that something was indeed happening on the moon. Apollo 17's astronauts Gene Cernan and Jack Schmitt went to such a location on the moon during their expedition, where there was a steep slope from a landslide which was tens of meters high. Sitting on the moon, Apollo 17's team of advisors and geologists on Earth speculated that this was a major geological fault on the moon and named it the Lee-Lincoln Scarp. They are also known as thrust faults, which we will learn about in the upcoming video. Scientists remained uncertain until the launch of the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, in 2009. It was after the launch of the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter that National Aeronautics and Space Administration has discovered about 3,500 such geological faults on the moon till today. And scientists are worried that these are not just in one place but have spread across the entire moon. In fact, a team of scientists has been studying this issue recently. They have designed a new algorithm to study the seismic data of Apollo missions. From this analysis, they have identified the locations of 28 moonquakes in conjunction with the Apollo seismic data, whose signals we had previously detected with these seismometers. When these moonquake locations were superimposed on the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter imagery data, they came to coincide with the tectonic features. Out of 28, 8 moonquakes were indeed due to tectonic activities, and these moonquakes were found within 18 miles of geological faults, or rather thrust faults. Upon further study, it was also found that out of these 8 moonquakes, 6 were indeed tectonic. When the moon was at its maximum distance from the Earth, it was because the gravitational pull of the Earth on the moon was causing tidal stress on the moon, which was increasing the stress. This means that there are also earthquakes on the moon. And if their severity is seen on the Richter scale, their severity will be between 2 and 5. Now let's find out why these earthquakes occur and what are geological faults or thrust faults. It is believed by scientists that the moon was born out of a hot molten blob, or in other words, it was very hot when the moon was born. As it cooled down, the thermal stresses increased in it, and due to the effect of thermal contraction, its volume started to compress. From some places, the crust of the moon started to peel off. As a result, the selenium fissures started to form on it. You can compare it to a finger. When a finger is extremely cold, the skin on top starts to peel off. Now, why does the skin on top of the finger peel off? It looks like it's shrinking. It's easy to see. But the surface of the moon is not flexible or brittle, so when the moon cools down, its surface breaks and sinks in places. This is why the sedimentum, also known as geological faults and thrust faults, is formed. So, is it dangerous for us to go to the moon? Will our entire moon exploration be in vain? Not necessarily, because moonquakes are only seen in areas with geological faults, and their effect is not constant on other places. But yes, rising in areas with thrust fault can be a dangerous thing for me. The situation is such that even on Mercury, the situation is the same and the conditions there are even worse. The radius of Mercury has decreased by 4.35 miles in the last 3 billion years, which is equivalent to this thermal contraction. Due to this, the quality of the sedimentary layers formed on Mercury is much better than the sedimentary layers formed on the Moon. There may have been volcanoes on the Moon, and lava would have come out of them. However, the bright line array material has been detected in these thrust faults, from which it is clear that due to the lunar seismic activity, this dust has come out, which was exposed to radiation. Studies have shown that these thrust faults are not very effective on a cosmic scale. It took about 50 million years to complete, and perhaps tectonic activities are still happening here today. National Aeronautics and Space Administration retired its seismometers back in 1977. This makes the Moon's geological activity a big mystery for us. We know very little about the Moon, and what we do know is not enough to establish a colony there. We have only scratched the surface of the Moon. The fear of the unknown is still there. It's not like we know what it's going to throw at us. Friends, what do you think about the Moon? Can it still be active today? And do we need to explore the Moon further? Please share your thoughts in the comments. How did you like this video, friends? If you liked the video, please like and share the video. By pressing the subscribe button, you become a subscriber. See you, friends.